Intel Arrow Lake's LPG plus Arc 130T iGPU is faster than Lunar Lake's 2 Arc 140V iGPU in OpenCL benchmark test. Intel's Arrow Lake iGPU, this LPG plus based Arc 130T, has been tested in Geekbench's OpenCL test and ended up faster than this 2 based Arc 140V. Intel's LPG plus versus 2 benchmark showdown in OpenCL benchmark. Arrow Lake with 7 cores ends up faster than Lunar Lake with 8's 2 cores. The Intel Arrow Lake H-Core Ultra 200H lineup is headed for launch at CES 2025, and while we have seen the initial lineup and its specs leak out, we are also seeing some benchmarks for the chips showing up. The latest benchmarks not only showcase the CPU performance but also the GPU performance, which is quite a bit interesting. The CPU in question is the Intel Core Ultra 225H Arrow Lake H, which features 4 P cores and 10 E cores in a 14-core and 14-thread configuration. This chip has a base clock of 1.70 GHz and a boost clock of 4.9 GHz. The chip features 18 MB of L3 cache and was running on a Samsung NP965X HD laptop configuration with 16 GB of memory. On the iGPU side, the chip features the Arc 130T iGPU, which is based on the upgraded LPG plus Alchemist plus graphics architecture with 7 cores or 112 execution units and shows up with 8 GB of shared system memory. In terms of performance, the iGPU scored a respectable 33,508 points in the OpenCL test, which is ahead of the Arc 140V, which scores around 27-28K points. The Geekbench database lists the top score for the Arc 140V, 16 GB config, at 27,109 points. The AMD Radeon 890M scores 37,804 points on the same benchmark, which is interesting since this isn't even the full LPG plus configuration that would end up with 8 LPG plus cores. Now it is possible that since LPG Plus is a refined version of the LPG architecture, it has better support for older OpenCL APIs, whereas Intel was clear that it was focusing on newer APIs with its brand new 2 cores. This could explain why 8's 2 cores are slower than 7's LPG Plus cores, with the former being a brand new architecture that is much faster than the last gen iGPUs in gaming. It should also be noted that Lunar Lake is a 17 to 30 watts sock, while Arrow Lake H can scale up to 115 watts in MTP modes. Regardless, it is good to see that Arrow Lake will feature an iGPU with performance that matches or exceeds existing iGPUs. Gaming performance will depend on driver-level optimization for the respective titles. In terms of CPU performance, the Intel Core Ultra 5 225H scored 2,547 points in single-core and 12,448 points in multi-core tests. This is slightly faster performance than the Core Ultra 5 155H, which ends up around 2,200 to 2,300 points in single-core and around 11-12K points in multi-core tests. So it looks like the performance uplift on the CPU side, at least, isn't as drastic, but versus Meteor Lake's iGPU, the uplift looks very impressive. With that said, there is still a lot of time till these laptops are available on the market, so expect better optimizations and performance scores in the coming months.